Welcome to
Yeah.
Mugcourt YouTube, the only channel that doesn't upload I did something X of AI every week.
It's true, it's true.
Welcome to Mugcourt YouTube, the only channel that matters.
That's true as well.
Yeah, as you can see, we're going to be doing an Eeveelution tier list. Probably going to get pretty controversial. Definitely not just going to regurgitate the same opinions that everyone else has.
I don't know.
You know.
6 tiers. So what are we calling this last one?
I just removed the last one, to be honest.
I'm gonna make a who is this tier just in case we don't know.
Alright.
Yeah.
That's fair. Vaporeon. I have to say, I feel like Vaporeon has really taken like a hit in recent years in its public standing. It's also probably my least favorite of the original 3.
It's probably one of the most successful smearing campaigns that has happened in the last few years.
It's
possibly, yeah. I mean, like, I feel for any Vaporeon fans, but like, I am not one.
It must suck to be.
I'm voting
who says, I like Vaporeon.
Down.
Like,
yeah.
I used the Vaporeon in my Black and White 2 playthrough. I don't even think I did it for any dedicated reason, as much as I just caught an Eevee. And I happened to have a Water Stone. And I was like, you know, I guess I can give it, like, Surf and Waterfall and Dive, because this is the HM game.
I think I've never really used Vaporeon.
I have used it, like, maybe once in my entire life. It's just not that interesting of a Pokemon. Like, Pokemon in general, there are so many fucking water Pokemon. At no point in any game have you ever been, like, in such need of a water Pokemon that you'd want one, even if you were doing like a monotype challenge.
I mean, I kind of appreciate the like amphibian mammalian design. You know, all the other Eevee are straight mammals, but that one, the like fucking fins and shit. That's cool, you know. And it's not like, for what it's worth, there are a lot of water type Pokemon that are not just fish. But it's still always cool seeing a cool water type Pokemon that is not.
It is. Like, I will give it that it's like, I think kind of the only Pokemon sort of like with a mermaid kind of design. I think that's sort of what they're going for, like a fox mermaid, right? Oh yeah, fuck, I'm an idiot. Okay, never mind. Kieran Incel arc, absolutely.
What? No, come on, that's so fucking low.
His Vaporeon's not very good. Like, sorry.
like, I'm just saying, bear in mind we've got Jolteon to do after this, so like...
yeah, okay, we're gonna have a long fucking conversation about your Jolteon comments.
I think it needs more development.
I am also gonna say needs more development, and that
I will accept this.
Is... I think the hypothetical development that Jolteon needs is like a...
Vaporeon. Yeah, we're not on Jolteon yet.
I meant to say Vaporeon, yeah. The hypothetical needs more development that Vaporeon needs. It's like a redemption arc after what the internet has done to Vaporeon.
Yeah, and if you don't know what we're talking about,
no person who ever would come across Mugcourt YouTube would, you know.
I think that's probably true, but you gotta account for all possibilities in the world.
Yeah. Right. Jolteon. Jolteon is like low-key. Probably my least favorite evolution.
I like Jolteon.
Jolteon is a guy. See,
Jolteon
is always the guy.
Like, okay, listen. Jolteon is not my favorite. It's not even my favorite of the initial 3. But, it's spiky. It's very, like, you know, jagged and ragged. It's got, like, an interesting design aesthetic compared to basically every other evolution. It's much more of a ruffian in appearance. I also like that it learns Pin Missile via level up. Completely useless thing for it, obviously, but I do appreciate
it was useful at some point in history.
Really? I don't know anything about competitive Pokemon. Anyway,
Jolteon is a funny guy, and he's also electric type, which is like good. Like other like the base evolutions, like you can get all of those types from your Sora, but Jolteon, that's an electric type right there.
Yeah, especially like you know, way back in like Gen 1, electric types were not that common to come by. Like you had Pikachu, obviously. You had Magnemite and Voltorb.
Magnemite's like goated Gen 1. Then,
yeah, true. But like
you have Zapdos, who's just a goat in general, but you don't play that. You don't use legendaries.
Electabuzz are in there as well.
Electabuzz is.
There were still a lot fewer electric types than there were water types, certainly. And I want to say also fire types as well. That might be a lie.
Yeah, water is the most common type in general.
No, sorry, fire. Fire types is what I meant to say.
And I don't know. I mean, it's definitely the most common type. I don't know what the ratio is these days.
Fire type in general has like Vulpix and like Growlithe and Ponyta and Magmar.
Yeah, okay, no, there's definitely. Well, so there's, I mean, like, either way, there's other options, but, like, I don't know, I just think Jolteon's kind of cool. I would accept putting him in either, like, I would go as high as Dry Seasoning, but in concession to Josh to not be just, like, a total, you know, tier bully. Maybe mid.
I mean,
I guess you can put him in mid. He's fine. There's some.
Yeah, he's pretty good. He's pretty good. It's not even mid. It's like, yeah, he's pretty good.
I mean, Bandoo, what do you say?
I like Jolteon. He's a funny guy.
Okay, what sort of tier?
I'll probably put him in mid, knowing like other upcoming evolutions.
Sounds like mid ends up being the consensus, so I'll take it. It feels awful putting Jolteon above Vaporeon, but you know, so whatever. Anyway, Leafeon is next.
I don't like Leafeon.
I love Leafeon.
All right. Well,
Leafeon
we're going to have a conversation about this.
It used to be my favorite.
Really? That's a rare opinion, I think.
I just like the guy. He's a cool, friendly guy. Has a nice little cry. I like grass types in general. They're often just very nice.
It's true.
I like the color on this. Like this beige tone is very nice to look at.
I'm very much also like a grass type enjoyer, and I like Leafeon a lot. In particular, I just think it's cool.
I mean, like, I like. Okay.
Which is a
like, yeah, like, I like grass types. I don't want to come. I like water types too. I don't want to come out as like a type slanderer. That's not my thing. I just think there's a lot of cooler ones. Like, for grass types, I tend to prefer, you know, sort of the ones that actually kind of look plant-esque, or the ones that are like funny guys, like, you know, like, I don't know, Roserade or something.
Roserade is not a funny guy. That's a majestic person right there.
It's a funny guy in a majestic sense. Okay, it can be both.
Hold on. Let me type this thing.
I will give one thing about Leafeon that sucks. Leafeon has a really bad shiny.
What does the shiny look like? We haven't considered that at all. Actually, it's basically the same. The ones where like it's just we made this like one shade darker are either
everybody wants like a brown Leafeon, like an autumn Leafeon. Everybody wants it, but we never got it. We all cry every time we see it.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe I'm coming out too hard against it. I just like don't.
I like.
I part of this is also like, you know, for a while it seemed like we were getting new Eeveelutions every couple of gens.
It's not true in this life, actually.
No, it's not true. Certainly anymore. But it seemed like that was going to be the case for a little while. Because we had Gen 2,
6, but 6 was like
one
type.
Yeah,
it was the new type. And
maybe in Gen
10. Any case,
there's a good possibility that in Gen 10, if we get something cool, we get a new evolution. It's always possible.
What I'm getting at with all this is just like I really wanted. If it were up to me, I would not have made a grass type evolution at all. Like, there's so many fucking grass types in the game. And
but there's more water types.
Yeah, I wouldn't have made a water one either.
but the whole point of evolutions is not that they're like supposed to be all the niche types.
I don't know. I just think, like...
If anything, grass was kind of like missing from the original trio, since like...
I guess.
just kind of stole that spot.
I guess. It's just like... I don't know. It's just like it's an Eevee with leaves on it. I don't know. I'm not a huge fan. You guys can put it wherever, but I would campaign.
Just a fluffy Eevee. Like
we'll get to Flareon.
Flareon's fucking awesome. Don't you slander Flareon?
Like it's like a weird thing to say. It's like it has leaves on it. It's a grass type, and Flareon, it's red, I guess.
Yeah.
Look, I think you know, I like it. I like that the leaves are a little bit like they're imperfect. You know, they're slightly torn. This is like Leafeon is a physical attacker. You know, despite the graceful look, this thing gets down and dirty with it. So it's got a bit of
Leafeon's stat distribution is weird because best stat is physical defense.
Yeah, why not, right?
I feel like I get the feeling it's because Leafeon's best stat is special defense, so they had to like. Well, I guess no other evolution so far has that stat. Because evolutions all have like the same stats but distributed differently.
Yeah.
Like,
no, there's
kind of weird. Maybe it should have been a rock type evolution for the defense.
They can make one still. We can get Stony.
And wait for rock.
I will continue my annual haunting of the Game Freak headquarters until we get a ghost type Eevee. But anyway,
yeah. So okay,
me saying a thing that is like not at all controversial, by the way. Anyway,
it's crazy.
I would campaign for it being low
tier.
I'm saying needs more development.
Okay, Bandoo, give me your tier.
I think it's dry seasoning or even sauce. Like okay. I'm not as hot on it anymore, but I used to definitely be on the sauce train for you.
Right. I think the Jolteon positive campaign was a lot weaker, and the Jolteon negative campaign was a lot stronger, and he got put in mid. I think Leafeon, it's sounding like dry seasoning, personally. I think the maths works out roughly like this. Bandoo's sauce comment kind of. I probably also put it in sauce.
I don't. Here's the thing. The one thing is, I don't want us to end up with a list where everything is in the top 3 tiers. And I'm pretty positive on most of the Eeveelutions.
I think that's kind of an inevitable result of.
I would be okay.
Because nobody here hates the Eeveelutions. It's hard to put like anyone in like Bozo's here.
Alright. I mean, you know, there's 2 of you guys and 1 of me at the moment. Like, I would be okay even with knocking Jolteon down 1 to put Leafeon in mid. Because I really don't.
I feel like we're being really unfair to all the other evolutions by being like, oh no, there's a certain type of evolution who has to be like in the best tier by itself.
No, I didn't say that.
I feel like there's preparations for that, and I think that's kind of unfair.
There's a couple I would argue for.
I think Leafeon is great. It doesn't need to. See, I think the like concept
the current layout is also acceptable, I guess.
I think it's okay.
Oh really? I'm surprised you're not more bothered by the fact that you said you're fine knocking Jolteon down if it puts Leafeon.
Yeah,
I just did half of that to fuck with.
I like Jolteon.
How about we kill Vaporeon? So I want to say low.
No, that's not happening. I refuse.
Put Vaporeon in. Who is this?
Who the fuck are you, huh? What the fuck is this thing?
Just rename the tier the copy pasta.
No, that's too cruel. Nobody desires that fate. Okay, look, I'll put it back here. I'll put Leafeon in here. We can
see that looks right to me.
We can still revise things if necessary.
It looks wrong to like the other people.
Look,
like, everybody else likes Leafeon.
We'll
if you guys, okay. We can leave it like that for now. We can bump it up later. That's fine.
Glaceon's good to go in like seasoning at least, right?
Glaceon is one that I really want to like more than I do. I think it's okay.
It's got the Hime cut.
It does. It does.
Glaceon is great, but I like Glaceon as well.
Rossvary consistently named this thing Hime whenever it would show up in our Soul Links. And he played very well with Hime.
That's a very nice.
That's a good name.
Yeah, Hime never died because of Ross. Hime died because
I can't say anything.
That's a very nice cry.
I feel like people complain about Glaceon a lot because it's like, ooh, ice type sucks. And it's like,
for what it's worth, it doesn't look that much like an ice type, other than the fact that it's blue, which is an area where like
actually.
This is true.
Leafeon and Vaporeon are a lot better.
I think
Jolteon's better.
I think over the years they made shiny Glaceon a lot better, like a lot more distinct looking.
I'll need to look at shiny Glaceon for myself. And I'm not gonna do that on this browser. You'll just get to.
It's definitely more noticeable. I think it used to also be a lot more on the like you can barely tell.
You know, I kind of might like shiny Glaceon more than normal Glaceon actually.
Well, I mean, yeah, it is like it's nicer.
Yeah. But no,
I think it's another thing. I think another thing about Glaceon is I think over the years it got greener.
I mean, you can put green in ice if you want to.
Okay, are we fine with
I guess it feels high, but I don't. I feel like I'm being the person who's like everything's got to be mid. I don't want to be that person. So we can leave it there for at least.
If anything, the only sad thing is I think Leafeon deserves to be up there with sister.
Yeah,
we can revisit that topic at the end of the list. We'll probably do that. We are tabling that issue for the moment.
So I'm gonna make my case about Flareon nice and quickly, which is that like. If this fucker was grayscale, you would have no indication that it's a fire type. And obviously, color palette is a factor of design, you know?
Yeah.
If this fucker was grayscale, isn't a good cop-out. But even in Gen 1, I look at Vaporeon, oh, that's a fucking water type. I look at Jolteon, oh, that's a fucking electric type. What are you, Flareon? You're Eevee, but
I feel that this is also true of Glaceon, of Espeon, maybe of Umbreon as well. I don't think that holds up as like a good.
You can make some like
also
arguments there more. I think you can make better arguments for those.
That also. Well, I mean, like here's the thing. Flareon's like visual indication that it is fire type is very subtle compared to the other two, and I will give you that. The fluff just kind of looks like smoke if you like kind of tilt your head. But, I don't know, I feel like, for me, Flareon earns a lot of points just on the fact that I feel like if Pokemon were real things, if you, like, snuggled up to a Flareon, it would be probably the fluffiest thing on Earth.
Okay, that's a reasonable point. However, a lot of jobber Pokemon become fucking awesome if they existed in real life, so I don't want to give that one too much consideration personally.
I like it as a fluky definitely.
Yeah,
I feel like most dog and cat Pokemon are just like, obviously they would be like amazing to have as like your friend pet, so like that's like not something to like.
Yeah, but this one can also breathe fire, so like.
Okay, Jake.
Point out that is also a factor.
Take Flareon in your mind. Now put Arcanine next to it. Let's be honest.
I like Arcanine also.
That's another thing about Flareon. It doesn't really look that distinct from Arcanine. And Arcanine has... That one is dope. It's a big, fluffy dog. It's legendary and imposing.
Okay,
and Flareon just kind of looks like a mid-stage evolution of Arcanine. It's like...
Hold on, stop. I was with you until you said that. That thing you just said is wild. No, it does not. That is a fucking fox. That is a fox, not a dog. You are being...
Jane,
you are being wild right now.
Fish evolve into, like, squids in this game.
I know, but, like, even that in mind, like, Growlithe and Arcanine look a lot like each other, and Flareon looks nothing like either.
I think...
Josh, intervene in this argument.
It just doesn't... I would say for being both Gen 1 Pokemon, it kind of, like, jobs on, like, being a distinct fire type.
I think they look sufficiently distinct from one another, but that's almost entirely on the basis of Arcanine having detail and Flareon lacking that.
Not.
And obviously,
exactly. I will
is like a cool thing in Pokemon design. There's like a, you know, designing Pokemon.
I mean, will design works if it works for what the Pokemon wants to be.
I will concede. Stop. Let me get a word in real quick. I will concede that Arcanine is like a cooler Pokemon. If you're trying to like intimidate somebody, you bring an Arcanine with you. I think Flareon fills a very different design niche. It's much more of an adorable Pokemon. Much more of like a Pokemon.
It's a dog.
It's not rude against Arcanine. Arcanine just looks kind of scary. I would not leave like a human infant alone with an Arcanine. Not because I think the Arcanine would do anything.
That's so mean.
Not because I think the Arcanine would do anything, but because the child would be somewhat scared of the large lion dog.
Jane, how many episodes of Pokemon have you seen where little child was protected by big?
Okay, I mean, like, this is true of like every fucking
Jane,
Pokemon.
How many r/wholesome posts have you seen where small child is left with big dog and they are best of friends?
Okay, I mean, this is a fair point.
Also, Arcanine is like kind of a shepherd dog, and the whole point of shepherd dogs is that they keep as their family and protect.
Yeah, we're talking too much about Arcanine.
Yeah, we are leaning really heavily on the Arcanine comparison,
because
which
Arcanine
I think
is awesome.
I will concede that it is a point. I don't think it can be like the entire deciding factor as to whether Flareon is good or not.
My other thought process is like
there are Eeveelutions I like more than Flareon. Of the 3 original ones, I think it's the best.
I just can't help but feel like if I have an Eevee and I have the choice of what to evolve it into, there is no scenario where I ever pick Flareon. Like,
why?
I once picked Flareon because I had like done all the other ones basically, and I regretted it because Flareon sucked as well.
The only time I like used Flareon ever was in Soul Links, where I kinda just, it's a fucking randomizer. Like, you don't really have a choice for that one.
You guys have never like purposefully picked Flareon? I have.
I haven't. No, every time I've like looked at
that's wild.
That's just so. It's just a lot less visually interesting than any other evolution to me.
Also, it's bad.
All right.
Like, it's sounding like, Jane, I'm not gonna put it in Incel Arc, even though, I want to, and it sounds like Bandoo wants to.
No, it's put it wherever. I have other battles to fight.
It needs more development.
I'm gonna tell you, I feel like we can't put all 3 Gen 1s in there. We gotta move one of them down. Pick one.
We don't have to move one of them down.
Okay, I think the fair option is to move all of them to Jolteon 1 tier lower.
Like this? Nope. Like this?
Yeah.
Okay, well now it's a giant L. Which is what this
tier
is.
Which is what I feel like I just took, yes.
It might turn into an E. Just wait.
Look.
E like Eeveelution? No, that's
E
so
like
smart.
Eeveelution.
Okay,
whoa.
so
Espeon is the absolute best one. I will not take anything lower than at least dry seasoning for Espeon. And
the thing about Espeon is, it's in a very unfortunate spot right now because it's like in line, and you look, it's like Espeon is currently in line, and then there's 3 cooler guys behind him.
Eevee is not fucking cooler than Espeon. You are out of your mind.
Okay, right.
You are out of your mind.
Okay, let's slow down, okay? We're talking about Espeon right now. We're not talking about Umbreon, Sylveon, or Eevee.
I like Espeon.
Espeon is probably my favorite evolution.
Good, correct opinion.
The only reason that's a probably is because of Sylveon. But as it stands, Espeon was my favorite evolution for the longest time, and it's still up there. Generally,
Espeon was the first thing I evolved an Eevee into. And it was not planned. I was like 10 years old.
Yeah.
So it was like by chance, and I was like, oh shit, I have like another cool fucking psychic Pokemon now. Psychic is my favorite type, obviously.
I think Psychic is also a good type.
Like, it's got like a fucking gem on his forehead. It looks more like a cat than the other ones, which I think is cool.
It is the most cat.
It's
an alien cat.
Simple, but like I respect it a lot. I think
the whole design is alien cat. An alien cat is cool, but I like the other ones more.
Well, here's
in our point about Espeon, very ugly shiny. It's like the putrid green.
Okay.
I actually don't know what Espeon's shiny looks like.
Look at that.
Let me pull up a visual reference real quick.
Okay, it's bad, and the best shinies in the Eeveelution line are the next two that we need to do. But like,
oh, it's like a bright fucking green. I actually don't hate that. It's not like I don't like it more than the original, but I think
the part I don't hate about it is that it's supposed to be Green Man Alien reference.
Yeah. Yeah.
It feels weird.
Like,
that's not really like the vibes that Espeon gives off as strongly, you know.
Espeon is literally an alien cat. It's the most alien cat you've ever seen.
I still don't associate alien cats with being little green men.
But
no, they're the cats that the little green men own.
Yeah,
get with the program, Josh.
Like it looks good when it's kind of like light pinky purpley color. I don't know.
That's because that's the color that psychic energy is. Come on.
No, it's
we know this.
I'm keeping it sauce. Jane, you're for sauce. Bandoo.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean,
I think it's more dry seasoning on, but I think
you're outvoted here, Bandoo.
Sauce is gonna be pretty crowded.
Little bit. That's okay. Fine. I'm fine with that. Yeah.
So, Umbreon also just like.
Umbreon's very good.
I'm between seasoning and sauce. I think like.
Me too. Yeah.
It's one of those things. Umbreon is the easy favorite when you're like 13, right?
Umbreon
love edgy shit.
Yeah.
But then as you grow
Umbreon's
up,
pretty great.
Like, oh, but Espeon, you know.
I think it's so cap. Umbreon is still
as I just said, Espeon has been my favorite since I was a kid. But anyway,
like everybody thinks the moon is way cooler than the sun. It just Umbreon is the goat.
Everyone thinks the moon is way cooler than the sun. Bandoo 2023. I'm not even gonna argue with that. I'm just gonna let it sit there. I just want everyone to think about that.
Everybody agrees.
I would be okay with don't fucking put it. Who is this? I'll kill you. I would be okay with either of the upper tiers. Yeah.
I don't know.
I think it's definitely the sauce. It's literally the original sauce.
I'm. You know what? Thinking about it in like it's either Colosseum or XD Gale of Darkness, where you're like permanent double battle mode and your starters are these two. They can stay together.
They are the twinsies.
Yeah,
I'm gonna do something very unpopular right now.
Yeah.
I don't think Sylveon goes in the top tier.
Transphobic, but do tell.
I am literally transgender. Fuck you. I just look. I like Sylveon. I don't dislike it. I do think it's maybe a little over-designed, and it doesn't really look that much of a piece with the other Eeveelutions, which has always bothered me a little bit.
Okay, I don't think those are invalid.
That's my case
at all, actually. But I also look at it, and then I look at like Cure Prism, and like Cure Prism is like my favorite Precure. Pretty much.
Context for those of us, like for people who might not know, Cure Prism, one of the main characters from 2023 anime, Hiragaru Sky Precure. Anyway, continuing on.
Yeah. I like it a lot. I think it's very just aesthetically satisfying as a Pokemon. The color scheme is obviously perfect.
Like, what I will give you...
basically just swaps the blues and pinks, and it looks good as hell there
as
well.
What I will give you is that I think Sylveon is a very potent symbol. I think if we're rating Eeveelutions based on, like, you know, how mad does this make shitty people? Obviously, then Sylveon takes the top spot, it's no question. Personally speaking, again, I do stand by. I think it's a little over-designed. I think it maybe like it wouldn't take much to like put it right up there at the top for me. I feel like if it had like more conventional Eevee eyes and maybe just like a little bit less of the ribbon theming going on, I would like it a lot more. But other people would probably like it less, so I don't know.
Right. Bandoo, what's your take on this?
You're the tiebreaker here, Bandoo.
I like Sylveon. I think Sylveon's design is kind of cool. I would say it kind of loses a lot of its appeal in the game, because in the game it's not very aerodynamic. Like those ribbons basically just like look like tentacly things that are just kind of like unmoving on top of it. It looks very strange. I'm not sure.
Just sort of flopping all over the place. Yeah.
But I think it's more that they're not flopping. They're just kind of stationary.
Depends on the game and how it's animated. To be fair.
I don't know where like the modern games made it better, but like obviously like definitely in the original gen where it comes out, like every time it uses hyper voice, I always like, damn, it kind of looks so strange that it has like those things coming out of it. They're so unaerodynamic.
Like all this put together, we put Sylveon in dry seasoning.
It is sounding like that. Is she above or below Glaceon?
I think she's above Glaceon. Glaceon's fine, but come on, yeah.
Okay, and then Eevee.
Eevee itself.
How do you rank Eevee? Right, because it's
so
it's the origin. It's the beginning of the universe.
Eevee,
it's the big
yeah. Eevee is Eevee's an interesting Eevee's an interesting Pokemon for a lot of reasons. Obviously, like the most possible evolutions of any one Pokemon. Like it's not even close. As a Pokemon itself, it's sort of. I would put it like a cut above like your very basic, like early root rodents and other kinds of normal Pokemon like that, where they're basically just like a real animal.
Yeah. It is sufficiently cute.
It is cute. Like if I had a pet Eevee in real life, I'd be happy with myself. I think.
It's also like I think back to like Let's Go Pikachu and Let's Go Eevee, where like to the Pokemon series, Eevee has mascot staying power.
Yeah, it is
literally on par with Pikachu.
No, Bandoo is correct. It's
like
the
second
other mascot Pokemon,
which is like which makes it kind of good. It's like the mascot you like. Because when someone says they like Pikachu, it's like, oh, Pikachu.
I like Pikachu. I don't tolerate hipster shit about
Frankly,
Pikachu.
I'm wearing Pikachu.
This is a whole other
right now.
This is a whole other conversation.
I don't hate
whenever somebody is like
Eevee is like the one that is not tainted at all by being the mascot, like the official real mascot. So it's a lot more likable, and it already is really likable. I think it just has a way better role than Pikachu. Pikachu's electric type. Eevee, you get an Eevee in the game, you're like, oh, I have so many options.
What I will say is this, right? And whether you want to consider this a point for or against Eevee itself is kind of up to you. With Eevee, 99% of the time, you get an Eevee and your plan is to eventually evolve it into something else. Most of the time...
That's the whole point of unevolved Pokemon.
Yeah, of course. With Pikachu, I feel like there's a lot more people who are like, oh, I like Pikachu better than Raichu, which I don't agree with at all. I think Raichu's a fucking awesome Pokemon.
Raichu's badass.
The
Pokemon propaganda machine convincing everyone that Raichu isn't as cute as Pikachu. Fucking monstrous.
Yeah, no, I love Raichu. Raichu is one of my favorite electric types, actually. But anyway,
I kept getting Raichus and Soul Links and calling them like Dekuchu and stuff.
Why? Why do you hate your Raichu like that?
Just cause.
I think in that sense, maybe I don't know. Like again, I whether or not that's a point for or against Eevee is kind of up to interpretation. Whenever I have an Eevee, I'm excited to turn this into something else. I rarely appreciate Eevee
if there's
as it
one
is.
Pokemon that gets a pass on I want to evolve this, it's the evolution Pokemon.
Perhaps that's so. Also, there's gimmicky things you can do. You can get,
there's a lot of cool things Eevee does as well. Actually, I think the Pikachu gimmicks that Nintendo does are often more annoying, a lot more on the nose. Well, Eevee, when Eevee gets something cool, it's nice. Gen 7 had an extreme Evo boost. That's a really cool animation, and was also actually good and competitive for a bit. It was like really awesome to see Eevee used like that.
They gave Eevee a Gigantamax.
I think Dynamax, yeah, Gigantamax.
They did,
I like Gigantamax Eevee. It's very, it's like
I don't.
Gigantamax Eevee is like something out of fucking Undertale. I don't know how to explain it.
The thing about Gigantamax Eevee is, like, Gigantamax Pikachu is a lot more. It's just pandering. Well, Gigantamax Eevee is. We make him a big, floofy, funny guy, and like you take like the scarf looking.
I feel like that is, to be fair, also pandering. Pandering to.
It's not really pandering. I would say like the other one is literally like remember Gen 1 Pikachu.
I mean, they also did like Gigantamax Meowth as well, just because remember Meowth, you know.
I mean, yeah, those three got them, but like the other two got new designs. Well, Pikachu just got. Hey, look! Remember how Pikachu used to look before we changed his design?
He does technically have a new design in that the tail is like different.
Anyway, I
like Eevee. Shiny Eevee also really good.
I feel like Eevee can go in the top tiers. One of the two. I have no preference.
I will say, Eevee is voiced by Aoi Yuki.
Shit, never mind.
Right.
You're right.
Sauce,
okay.
Put him in sauce.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can we put it between the two so it like?
It's just make a new tier. It just says Aoi Yuki.
Yeah.
Oh, you mean between? Okay, yeah.
No, I think this looks aesthetic. No, Josh, this doesn't look aesthetic at all.
Well, Mudcord, thanks for watching.